In the aftermath of relentless conflict, a shattered village bore silent witness to the heavy cost of battle. Amid the lingering dust and broken walls, Blake, a soldier with unwavering resolve, discovered his trusted canine partner, Scout, abandoned and gravely wounded. Once a fearless guardian and companion on perilous missions, Scout now lay injured, his loyal spirit shadowed by the scars of violence. In that moment, as chaos faded into a heavy stillness, Blake's determination surged. With a fierce promise in his heart, he resolved to rescue Scout from the ravages of war, carrying him across treacherous terrain toward safety. This powerful act of devotion is more than a rescue. It's a testament to the enduring bond between a soldier and his partner, a bond that transcends the hardships of combat. Welcome to Acts of Kindness Stories, where today we bring you an inspiring tale of loyalty, courage, and the transformative power of compassion in the face of overwhelming odds. Blake's heart pounded as he cradled Scout's battered body, the remnants of a fierce battle scattered around them. The once vibrant military working dog now lay injured on a bed of rubble, a loyal companion silenced by pain yet still clinging to life. The chain wrapped tightly around Scout's neck, a cruel reminder of a deliberate act of betrayal, seemed to tighten with every labored breath he took. Blake's hands trembled as he gently unfastened the chain, his eyes brimming with a mix of anguish and determination. Without hesitation, he tore strips from his own shirt to create makeshift bandages, carefully wrapping Scout's gaping wounds. A deep, bleeding laceration on his front leg and another injury across his abdomen, likely inflicted by shrapnel. Every second counted as the urgency of the situation fueled his resolve to get Scout to safety. With Scout weakly secured on his back, Blake raced through the treacherous, cratered terrain. The ground was scarred by the chaos of conflict, each step a battle against time and danger. The distant echoes of gunfire and the threat of further enemy strikes shadowed his every move. Despite the looming risk of isolation from his unit, Blake pressed on, driven by the unbreakable bond they shared, a bond that transcended orders and standard military protocol. His mind flashed back to the countless missions where Scout's keen senses had averted disaster, and the memory bolstered his determination to bring his friend home. Upon reaching the fortified base, Blake's frantic shouts for assistance caught the attention of the guards. Their faces shifted from disbelief to concern as they saw the battered state of the dog. Scout was quickly whisked away in a military vehicle as Blake, still reeling from his exertions and the weight of responsibility, followed closely behind. The base's medical bay transformed into a flurry of urgent activity, a space filled with the clamor of anxious voices and the sterile scent of antiseptics. Dr. Reynolds, a composed and skilled veterinarian, immediately took charge of Scout's care. Her experienced eyes assessed the critical state of the injured canine. Significant blood loss and early signs of a dangerous infection threatened his survival. Dr. Reynolds explained the gravity of the situation in a tone that carried both empathy and urgency. Scout required emergency surgery to stop the infection from taking hold and to mend his severe wounds. Though the makeshift operating room lacked the advanced resources of a full-scale hospital, every member of the medical team, along with Blake's steadfast assistance, poured every ounce of effort into the procedure. Blake, with no formal training but armed with raw determination, followed Dr. Reynolds' instructions meticulously. Handing over instruments, keeping the surgical area as calm as possible, and offering silent prayers for his companion's recovery. The atmosphere was tense, punctuated only by the rhythmic beeping of monitors and the soft clatter of surgical tools as every cut and suture was placed with painstaking care. After hours of focused work, and with every moment feeling like a lifetime, the surgery reached a turning point. Although Scout remained critically ill, his body still weak and feverish, there was a glimmer of hope in Dr. Reynolds' measured declaration that the worst had passed. Yet, even as Scout's condition stabilized, the mystery of his targeted injury loomed large in Blake's mind. Questions began to surface amid the controlled chaos of the medical bay. Why had someone deliberately left Scout for dead? What sinister purpose was served by the tight chain and the clearly inflicted wounds? Haunted by these questions and recalling an earlier unsettling incident during a failed mission, Blake's thoughts turned to Captain Turner. Known for his cold efficiency and harsh criticisms, Turner had openly dismissed Scout's warnings during a previous operation, an oversight that had cost many lives. In hushed conversations and furtive glances, soldiers recalled how Turner had even gone as far as to question the reliability of Scout, an accusation that now stank of ulterior motives. Driven by both loyalty and a fierce sense of justice, Blake resolved to uncover the truth behind the betrayal. With quiet determination, he began gathering evidence. He carefully documented every detail: the distinctive footprints near where Scout had been found, fragments of the metal chain that bound the wounded dog, and even a hesitant testimony from a fellow soldier who had glimpsed Turner acting suspiciously during the aftermath of the battle. The mounting evidence pushed Blake to confront the issue head-on. In a tense moment in the base's crowded mess hall, he sought out Captain Turner. The air was heavy with unspoken accusations as Blake's steady voice recounted the series of events that had led to Scout's near-fatal injuries. Turner, his expression hardening, scoffed at Blake's claims. Dismissing the allegations as nothing more than the sentiment of a man too attached to his pet, Turner's derisive laughter echoed off the walls, sending a chill through everyone present. The confrontation sparked murmurs among the soldiers, dividing loyalties and intensifying the air of suspicion. While some exchanged doubtful looks, others could not help but be moved by Blake's courage and the sincerity of his words. Undeterred by the initial dismissal, Blake doubled down on his efforts. Late into the night, under the dim glow of makeshift lights, he continued to collect further evidence. Every scrap, every silent witness, and every overlooked detail was meticulously recorded. His pursuit of truth wasn't merely for Scout, it was for the integrity of every soldier who believed in justice and honor. The mounting pressure from within the ranks grew as more soldiers began to quietly side with Blake's insistence that someone had betrayed the very principles they stood for. Matters escalated further during an all-hands meeting, where the tension in the room was palpable. As Blake stood before his comrades, his voice resonated with the pain of loss and the hope of redemption. He recounted the ordeal in clear, unyielding detail, of the desperate journey through the war-torn landscape, the frantic rush to the base, and the painstaking efforts to save Scout. His words stirred emotions and ignited a sense of unity among the soldiers, even as fear and uncertainty lurked in the corners of the room. Just when the debate reached its peak, a low, determined growl cut through the murmurs, a sound that belonged unmistakably to Scout. Despite his weakened state, the injured dog had managed to appear at the meeting, his presence a powerful, living symbol of resilience and loyalty. In that charged moment, the room fell silent as all eyes turned to the steadfast figure of Scout standing by Blake's side. The sight galvanized the soldiers, drawing an unspoken line between those who would stand by truth and those who would allow authority to silence justice. The ripple of courage that emanated from this simple yet profound act of defiance spurred the base's leadership into action. Recognizing the growing unrest and the weight of the evidence now too compelling to ignore, the commanding officer ordered an official investigation into the events surrounding Scout's brutal assault. As the investigation unfolded, new revelations emerged that underscored the betrayal. The once reliable chain of command now faced a reckoning, as the stark evidence and the unwavering testimonies of those who had witnessed the injustice painted a damning picture of deliberate malice. Even as the base prepared to brace for any further repercussions, an unexpected enemy assault shattered the uneasy calm. Amid the chaos, enemy forces launched a sudden, coordinated attack on the base's perimeter. Gunfire erupted, and the once calm corridors turned into battlegrounds. Despite his weakened state, Blake refused to retreat. Rallying his comrades, he led a courageous defense to repel the advancing threat. In the heart of the ensuing combat, the stakes grew even higher. As the enemy pressed forward with ruthless intent, a covert attempt was made to silence Blake, one that would ensure the truth about Scout's betrayal remained buried. A bullet found its mark in Blake's shoulder, an agonizing blow that threatened to shatter his resolve. But before the situation could spiral out of control, Scout, driven by an unyielding instinct to protect the man who had saved him, sprang into action. With a ferocity that belied his injured state, Scout lunged at the assailant responsible for the ambush, engaging in a struggle that would echo as a defining moment of loyalty and bravery. The clash was swift and brutal, a chaotic melee marked by desperation and raw determination. In the ensuing scuffle, Scout's defense not only disrupted the enemy's advance but also provided Blake with a critical moment to regain his footing. Fellow soldiers, witnessing the extraordinary display of valor, rallied to subdue the attacker. The incident served as a stark reminder that even in the direst circumstances, the bonds of trust and courage could ignite hope and galvanize collective action. Each act of selflessness on that tumultuous day underscored the importance of standing up against injustice, no matter the personal cost. As the battle raged on and the immediate threat began to recede, the focus shifted once more to the unresolved questions that had ignited Blake's relentless pursuit of truth. The evidence collected, meticulously recorded and corroborated by multiple voices, pointed unmistakably toward a betrayal within their own ranks. The base, now still reeling from the enemy's assault, faced an internal reckoning. Blake's courageous defiance had sown the seeds of change, prompting the leadership to confront a truth that many had long hoped would remain hidden. With every passing moment, the significance of what had transpired grew clearer. The fight was not only against an external enemy but also against the corruption and betrayal that threatened the very core of their brotherhood. In the midst of adversity, the unyielding loyalty between Blake and Scout became a rallying cry, a call for justice and a reminder that integrity must prevail even in the darkest of times. As the dust finally settled, Blake and Scout emerged as living symbols of resilience and unwavering loyalty. Their journey through betrayal, pain, and fierce battles not only exposed the corruption within the ranks, but also rekindled a hope that transcended the battlefield. In the quiet aftermath, as the base slowly healed and truths were revealed, their story illuminated a powerful message. True strength comes from standing together, holding fast to our values even when the odds are stacked against us. In the following days, as soldiers and civilians alike began to rebuild their trust in each other, the bond between Blake and Scout served as a reminder that every act of kindness, every moment of bravery, creates ripples that can transform a community. Their struggle, documented with raw honesty and relentless determination, has become a beacon of hope, a call to uphold justice, to fight for what is right, and to never let despair win. Thank you for sharing this remarkable journey with us. If this story has touched your heart and inspired you, please like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Help us reach 10,000 subscribers on Acts of Kindness Stories so we can continue to bring you more uplifting and educational tales of courage and compassion. Together, we can make a difference and remind the world that kindness is a strength that can overcome any darkness.